No, G, exactly. And that's the thing. People automatically say, well, you live in a pretty, you know, not so good area, and I'm like, well, we didn't do a whole lot of research. We just found a house that was renovated. It was nice. The rent was in our budget. Bam, this is where we are. So I love the neighborhood. I love being around my people. I'll never be afraid of my people. I will never be in fear of my own color and my own culture. Why should I? However, when I looked at that young man and he was on the driver's side of my car and the gentleman that was with him that couldn't get in the passenger side, we locked eyes. So I'm pretty sure he's out there today. I'm pretty sure whatever transpired between last night from the time he took the car at 12 noon yesterday, I just tell him, I am praying for the brother. I am praying for this young man. This young man is young. But, of course, in our culture, that's the first thing we do. We pray and we forgive. But who's accountable? So if you're 50 and you feel me, some of the accountability I feel is on me. Because I was partying, hanging out, and some of these young cats, young men, there was times I may have ignored them when I could have saved them from something in my past, when I was in my 20s, or even when I was 15, 16, and I saw them going down a wrong path. So that's what made me think within myself, that could be my nephew right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That could be your son.
That could be my sons that I don't have. That could be our sons. So that's what I say about us who are older. We have a mantle. We have a thing in our mindset now in 2020 that we should really cultivate the culture. Don't worry about their pants sagging. Don't think about it like, oh, if I say something to him, he might pop off a bullet. I'm telling you, if you walking in God, you walking in the anointing of what's on your heart to speak, and if that word comes inside of you, that's only God that placed it in you for that person. That's why I say I will never be in fear of my own neighborhood. This brother is running around with my house keys. He's running around with my house keys right now, and I'm on this radio. You understand? So I had to move forward. I can go home. My whole house can now be emptied out.
There's also a possibility that young man's parents may be listening to this radio station. And so even with that, even speaking as a parent, as a father myself, I would not want, excuse me, I would not want my child or my teenager or my young adult son or daughter or what have you to even do those things that we experienced on yesterday. So there's a little bit of a accountability that goes toward the parent, as far as really knowing where that child is.
Right. Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, the whole scenario, with the understanding of knowing what went on with this whole situation, it was not only those two gentlemen, the gentleman that went in the car and drove off, but also another young gentleman that was with him that decided to run when we saw what was happening. And we reacted.
Right.
And the other brother ran. Right. And then come to find out, you got other brothers waiting down the street.
Mm-hmm. That was a whole gang
where
of
are
them.
the parents?
Right.
Where are the caregivers?
Right.
We can't say parents because we don't know the demographics of the household. However, there is somebody that's accountable.
Right.
Or has to be accountable.
My neighbors. You got a whole huddle of dudes at the end of the block. You know what I mean? In front of your house, if they don't live there.
Right.
You understand? So it's like we no longer want to say nothing.
Right.
We don't see nothing because we're not getting nothing from it if I tell it. And then you got this snitch policy in the hood. That's got to stop because that's what's getting our daughter snatched, our men snatched. I know, G. I know you got something to say. You bubbling over there. Come on, help a sister. Help a brother.
I think it's the parents, and it's just their parents now are afraid of their kids. They're afraid of not being their friend or them lashing out at them. So I think it's gonna take people who are older to not look up to kids, but it needs to be the other way around.
Ooh,
a lot of young people are influencing older people. Like I see a man 50 with his pants sagging or looking like a young guy. That to me is crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
It's out of order.
It's
out of order.
And I mean,
and then the other, not to interrupt you, G, but the other thing is even correcting the word kid. Kid don't apply to our children.
No.
Because the correct name for a boy or a girl is actually children, not a kid. Because what is a kid? What is a kid? It's a goat.
A goat
Right.
that
are
bucks
you
up
raising-
against the system.
So are you raising goats or are you raising children?
Right,
Which one?
right. And that's been the
Culture
long
change.
lasting.
We go back to where we started. Culture
Ooh,
change.
Yeah.
Changing our thinking.
Right.
You know, we got to watch what we say.
Right.
Because the repeated generation is doing the same thing that we're saying.
Ha! UNG got it
And
today.
it's not what you say.
Right.
It's how you react and how you act. That's what's being duplicated.
That's absolutely it. But go ahead, G.
No,
That's
I was
it.
just saying,
That's
just,
it.
Just
That's
seeing
it.
at my job, like seeing that, like a lot of adults look up to children, and they're influenced by children, and I never will get that. Like when I was young, I knew that my parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles is what I was supposed to be looking up to. This is what I'm supposed to aspire to, being an adult, like working hard, making my own money, doing what I'm supposed to do, not the other way around.
Not the other way around.
And I think young people now are looking up to images on TV, social media, things that they see, and they don't even know that that's not even real.
That's not even real, and that we don't know. What I always say is the inner workings. We don't know the inner workings of that situation of how, say, for instance, and I throw it out there, quote unquote, we'll say like Cardi B. You know, we don't know the inner workings of what got her there. You understand? She talks a lot about her life, but the soul out self, the soul, I say, not sold out, but the soul out. Right. You selling your soul out for this inner working. What's the inner workings? You know, just people in my own brother, my own brothers, you know, it was a flip. That same scenario you talk about, G, my brother who's 60, he's influenced more by my nephews. You know, he still thinks he's 40-something years old. I said, brother, you're 60. Right. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I have to tap him on the shoulder sometimes because your language is not suitable. You know, the profanity that we continuously carry in conversation around children. And I'll say a number of other things later on in other weeks on a Wednesday. But I'm saying, you know, it's time for us to change our language and be more discreet. Okay, if you're not going to stop doing it, at least what I can say about other cultures, and I have to say my Caucasian brothers and sisters, I have a lot of good friends, Caucasian friends. For whatever reason, they know when it's appropriate. And what I learned in transit jobs and truck and things like that, as a culture, we don't know when it's appropriate. We have no tact in our language and what we do. I'm smoking L's in front of children. I'm cussing in front of children. I'm being physically intimate in front of children. We don't put it in appropriate boxes. These are things that when we were growing up, you didn't see. Yeah, mommy might be high in the party and like we just got off the holidays and you know how everybody go in their basement and you don't go because children stay either upstairs, outside, or whatever. You understand? They may come out with the glassy eyes, but you don't know what took place. You don't know the inner workings. Now it's just free game. They getting content all day. Your social media content, the content from their homes, the content of their character is being built up. And speaking of the content of our character, we're in a new month. We're in January, and we got some things coming up about MLK on our next week's show. Martin Luther King, that's the first thing you think about in January in our culture. We need to know what those changes have. We're going to talk about some of the things that have even changed in that whole situation, dealing with Martin Luther King. But that's what I'm saying. The content of our character is being built up in wrong coding. The moral coding now is the digits, the combination is wrong.
Yeah,
you understand? It's bankrupt, right?
It's actually evil is called good and good is called evil, and that's
right.
Totally out of order. Totally out of order.
Right, absolutely.
And that's something that we really, really have to come into understanding and really just attack and correct.
So look, listen, Louisville, I'm sure that you're listening, and possibly, let's go back to the word look. Hopefully you're looking over yourself, over your life, over your circumstances as we're having this conversation, just as a reminder to yourself, a friendly reminder to yourself to do a self-check. You know, and now that we're here in Louisville, I see a lot. You know, there's a lot that we want to touch. We hope we don't get any rejection from wanting to bring about resolution in this neighborhood, in this community, in this state of Kentucky. There are a lot of people out there that want change. And there's nothing wrong with change. I would never deny a person who would love to make a change in their life, because I would not want to be denied. Like I probably told you, G, and I know I tell Henry all the time, I want to be better. You understand? You know, we could talk about salvation. We could talk about our ministries. We could talk about our faith and what we believe in and all this belief stuff. I want to be better. So if I want to be better, and the steps that I take to be better, I want that person next to me to be better.
Absolutely.
You understand? So people don't think, like, if I walk away from a group of people that are talking and you start talking a little bit, crazy or shady or whatever, and I step away, it doesn't make me better than you. I want to be better than that. You understand? And no longer do we want to put a mask on in our culture. Like, I don't want to be in a boardroom talking and articulating properly, and then I'm with my people and I'm just flat out, profane.
Or just forget that you're in a meeting.
Or that you forget you're in the meeting. And you're talking profane, you going ham and it's going the other way. Now my character and everything's being expelled and exposed, and then that might cost me money later. People don't get that. You got investors around you all day.
But not only cost you money, but cost you businesses.
That cost you opportunities.
Cost you partnerships. Cost you opportunities.
Right.
Just like you said, it costs money.
I might walk up on your office door and I'm like, whoa. Is this really what I want to be connected to? But that's what it is about our culture, our neighborhood. You understand? Nobody wants to address the things that are happening in the West. I don't care if it's West Atlanta. We come from Georgia, Marietta. I lived in the hood, whatever, my neighborhood. Like, I would get on my mom and people that are older. Y'all should have corrected that. I do. I think there's an accountability piece for the generation that is passing away now or going into their elder years. There should have been some corrections to that, because you were stronger than that in your neighborhood. You had a home in this neighborhood. Now you allow people to come rob, park all up on your lawn. I go home, my mom's neighbor, he'll park his truck and cut off her lawn. And just in our hood, though. You go to the suburb and you go to our counterparts in other cultures, you couldn't get away with that. You have code enforcement. You have the police, you understand? But that's what we want to talk about. Look, listen, Louisville, that's what we want you to look at. That's what we want you to listen to. Listen to your neighbors. Listen to what's going on in the general population. Listen to when you're on the bus.
Be accountable.
Be accountable.
Be accountable and responsible for what you see and what you hear.
Right.
And then take action.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with taking action. There's nothing wrong with correcting a situation.
Absolutely.
It's not the way. It's not what you say. It's how you say it.
Absolutely.
And if you're saying it in a respectful way because you're respecting yourself, then the other person's going to respect you.
Right.
But you have to give it the opportunity, because the opportunity is always going to be there.
Yes. It never goes away. It never goes away to go back and correct some things. And if that person, like I said, forgiveness is for you, not for the other person. So that's what we talk about. But in our culture, the forgiveness piece is so loosely used, and the mask behind the God word, we hide so much behind the word of God and all this, but you're doing so much different. You living your life so contrary. So what I want to say in 2020, that's the vision. Like, we need to stop in our culture living so contrary to who we know we can be as a powerful people. We always talk about up in arms, businesses. We need to come together as businesses and as black people in black culture, but we too busy worrying about that person's personality, their lifestyle, this, that, and the third, instead of just basing that respect out there. And if I don't want to deal with you, I shouldn't be pushed back or hated because of it. You understand? If I don't want to be in agreement with you, that means us two cannot walk together. So I can walk with somebody else, and it's okay, but we can get the common goal achieved. I have to say, in MLK's time, Martin Luther King Jr.'s time, pulling together all that he pulled together, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that were against each other in that clan, in that group of people that came together. Even those that jumped on board, they still had problems. But they had a massive movement that moved us to this place.
Because they understood the common goal.
There you go.
The common goal was to free. And the common goal was not only to free us as slaves in the physical sense, but also the main goal, I believe, that Dr. Martin Luther King was trying to achieve, was to free the mind of our culture.
That's it.
Free the mind. Because if you realize, we're okay with being free from the chains, but we got to be free in our mind.
Right.
That's the real issue. That's the real issue, the nitty-gritty of it.
That's it.
That's the nitty-gritty that we really have to deal with, is our mindset, because our mindset puts us in a proverbial box that everybody else sees us as crabs.
Right. In the bucket. Grabbing at each other.
And what has happened is that we wind up accepting that.
Right. As so. And I always say we are our own worst case study. Like, going back to my incident, the young men that took my car, that stole our vehicle to get us around. You understand? What they don't understand is that you're being filmed in these bodegas. You're being filmed in these corner shops and these corner stores and these liquor stores. You're being filmed in these places, calling out to work on you.